Welcome to Advocate Today. I'm Aaron Dean, and there's a couple of new candidates in the race for the White House. Political activist and philosopher Dr. Cornell West is running for president for the People's Party.
Democracy creates disruption. It creates an eruption. It creates an interruption. Wide from below, the energies of everyday people is manifest. And I know there are precious people in your life who you care for. That's why it's important for you to be involved, important for you to participate. We're not talking about hating anybody. We're talking about loving. We're talking about affirming. We're talking about empowering those who have been pushed to the margins, because neither political party wants to tell the truth.
In a Twitter post, West laid out the People's Party's platform of fighting to end poverty, mass incarceration, along with guaranteed housing and health care and education, plus living wages for all. West was born in Tulsa, Oklahoma, grew up in Sacramento, California, graduated magna cum laude from Harvard College. He was also the first African American to graduate from Princeton University with a PhD in philosophy. Former Vice President Mike Pence is officially joining the 2024 presidential race. According to the Federal Election Commission, he has now filed the paperwork for his bid for the Republican nomination. This sets up a potential clash with his former boss, Donald Trump. The two had a falling out when Trump tried to cling to power after losing the 2020 presidential election. Only 6 former vice presidents have been elected to the White House, including Biden. Pence joins a crowded Republican field which includes former President Trump, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, and former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley, among others. The former president is still leading in the polls. Chasten Buttigieg, the husband to Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, is again stepping into the spotlight. Buttigieg is opening up on the cover of Advocate magazine's May-June Pride cover. Inside, he's talking about everything from being married to Pete to his public disputes with former Vice President Pence and being a father. Now, he has a new book out called I Have Something to Tell You, which focuses on his life before meeting Mayor Pete. I caught up with Chasten at a book signing event in Washington, D.C. to find out why now is a good time to release this book. How did all that come together and be like, you know what, I'm gonna write this down?
Yeah, well, when I started writing the book, I was just thinking about the book I wanted to travel back in time and hand younger me. Mm-hmm. And then about a year into writing the book, the kids were born. And I felt like everything sort of came into focus. So many more things made sense in life because I was holding these 2 little, fragile at the time kids, you know, these just like delicate little beings, and thinking about what the words I was writing meant. And if one day they would be comforted by them, one day it would matter to them. I hope that one day this book is relevant and that they'll wonder why, you know, Dad even had to write a book like this in the first place. But in writing the book, I was very comforted by the idea of them reading it one day. And instead of just thinking about talking to younger me, I was thinking about talking to, you know, Gus and Penelope.
Were there any parts of when you were writing this book that were tough to put down on paper, or was it kind of pretty easy? What were those?
No, I mean, I want the reader, when they read my work, to be right there with me, either in the joy or the pain. And going back into some of those memories was tough. Thinking about bullying in school and, you know, the names that they'd call you or the slurs that they'd call you, or what it was like to get pushed into a locker or, you know, pulled down onto the floor. And I wanted to make sure that the writing captured that feeling, because I want the reader to be there with me in that, so that when we're also celebrating the joy in the writing, they feel how freeing that joy was. Certainly didn't love every day writing those things down, and had to put it away sometimes and come back to it when I was ready.
And you know, you spoke, like you said, you spoke of being free when you were writing these things. What did you discover about yourself in this whole process?
Yeah, I want the reader to know so many things along the way, but especially that nobody gets to rob you of your joy and your existence, and that the opinions of other people do not matter unless you choose to let them. You are not shaped by your surroundings and the opinions of other people. And it was pretty cathartic to write about some of these really painful memories, some of which I thought I had like handled in therapy when I was younger, you know? And to write them down and to feel like I could release them, but also forgive them, that I had grown and I had changed and that I was better because of it. And the fact that I'm alive, the fact that I exist, the fact that I made it out means that I can now forgive some of those people and some of those experiences, and most importantly, myself. I was so hard on myself for such a long period of my life, either in the closet or when I was just stumbling through my existence trying to figure it out once I ran away from home or was putting myself through college. So just sort of acknowledging those things and then letting them go was really helpful and cathartic.
And you know, you literally just led me to my next point. You talked about not letting people's words have power over you. You know, you are not shy, you know, when it comes to sticking up for yourself and for your family. You know, there have been comments from Tucker Carlson, former Vice President Pence, and others. Where does that fearlessness come from? Where deep inside of you say, you know what, no, I'm going to say something, and that's what it's going to be?
Well, being in this position, it's not just sticking up for my family, it's sticking up for everyone's family. And I appreciate the opportunity to get to do that. I'll always defend my kids. I'll always defend my husband. If I spent every day hunting for the BS on the internet, I'd find it. And so also knowing who I am, what I stand for, and what I want to shape my purpose in my life. So much of that is wrapped up in being a dad or being an advocate or being a writer or a teacher. But I know who I am. I know what I care about. I know why I'm here. And in celebrating all of those things, I find joy out of my existence. And when people are writing those things or saying those things, beyond them, you know, making money off of it or however the media ecosystem rewards that type of behavior, beyond that, I think they're kind of miserable. To be so hateful, to be so small-minded, and to attack, for example, my son when he was on a ventilator in the PICU at a children's hospital. I'm a dad, and the right place to be when your kid is connected to a ventilator is at their bedside. So I know who I am. I know what matters in life to me more than the clicks and the money and the attention and the power. To me, being a good dad comes first. And so when people, you know, want to pile on, that to me is just their misery. And I find, you know, the best joy in being a husband, being a father, and just being proud of the fact that I am here. And now I get to be a person I wish I would have had when I was younger.
And, you know, as an activist, do you feel that our country is going in the right direction when it comes to protecting the rights of marginalized communities? And if not, what can we do?
Yeah, so two things can be true. I do believe that America is progressing. It's just the fact that there's a very vocal minority right now. And unfortunately, that vocal minority has the microphones, and some of them have the gavels in the houses of power, where they get to pass some of these laws, some of these bills, and push some of this legislation that is antithetical to what the American people believe and to what even the majority of the Republican Party believe. The majority of the Republican Party believe in LGBTQ rights and affirmation. But their party is currently right now under the chokehold of a very vocal minority of people who, rather than doing any of the work, would like to focus on attacking marginalized people because it's easy. It's just easy work. It's easy, lazy work.
We'll have more of my conversation with Chasten on the Advocate Channel and advocatechannel.com. If you want to meet Chasten in person, his book tour continues. He has stops in Cleveland, Miami, Ridgefield, and Memphis. Go to chastenwrites.com to register. The Advocate Channel, Equal Pride, and Out Magazine are joining forces with iHeartMedia and Procter & Gamble for one of the biggest Pride celebrations online. The Advocate Channel is the official streaming partner for Can't Cancel Pride, and it's going into its 4th year. This year's host is JoJo Siwa, and we are so excited to announce the full lineup of performers. We'll have Brandi Carlile, Adam Lambert, Big Frida, Sierra, Billy Porta, Kesha, and many more. You can watch Can't Cancel Pride right here on advocatechannel.com or on any of our streaming channels. The Can't Cancel Pride event is June 15th 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Thank you for watching Advocate Today. Download the Advocate Channel app on your smart TV or on your phone, or you can like and subscribe to our YouTube page. I'm Aaron Dean. See you next time.